Burlesque baker baking some stuff. Burlesque baker shaking her buns. Make it rain for the burlesque baker. Burlesque baker, oh yeah.
Hi, welcome to another episode of The Burlesque Baker. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite snacks, generic brand cheese crackers. So, I once read that cheese is as addictive as heroin. I've never tried heroin, but I'm pretty sure it's true. So, sorry vegans, but honestly, if I had found out that I had been allergic to cheese, I probably would have just ended it all right there. Let's get ready to make some super cheesy, gluten-free crackers, and hopefully it doesn't lead you down a downward spiral into cheese rehab. So, to make all this madness, you're going to need a food processor, baking sheet, rolling pin, parchment paper, and a pizza cutter or a cookie cutter, whatever shape you want your crackers to be in, almond flour, gluten-free flour blend, salt, baking powder, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, butter, 1 egg, cheddar, and parmesan. Of course, you can mix up all the cheeses and spices however you want. I'm all about it. Okay, so we're pretty much just going to throw everything in the food processor and pulse for 30 seconds, and that's it. So I'm going to throw in the almond flour and the gluten-free flour, my spices, butter, or smart balance, whatever, egg, and the best part, the cheese. All right. Pulse time. So your dough should start to look like a ball. If it doesn't start coming together, you can add a little bit of hot water as you go, and it'll help it form together. But if your egg and your butter were at room temperature, it should work out just fine. So now we're going to dump it out on some plastic wrap it up, and let it sit in the fridge for an hour until it gets firm enough for us to roll it out. Rolling time! So you're going to take 2 pieces of parchment paper, lightly flour them, and then we're going to take a little part of the dough, maybe a third or so. Just work with a little bit at a time because it gets really soft. And put the rest back in the fridge while we wait. And now we're going to flour the top of the dough a little bit as well. And roll it out. So you're going to want to roll this out as square as you can, really thin, like 1/16 of an inch. If you make it too thick, they won't be crispy. If you make it too thin, you won't be able to pick it up. And now we're ready to cut. So use a ruler. I have a really fancy one. And you want to cut these into like 1-inch squares. You can also use a cookie cutter or whatever you want. If you want to make a middle fingers, up to you. I'm going to go for authentic cheese cracker. So first I'm just going to trim the edges and make it super square. All right, so now the last step, if you are going with the square version and you want to make them super authentic, is you poke a little hole in the middle with a toothpick. Okay, so the very last step is to transfer them to the baking sheet and get them in the oven. I'm going to sprinkle them with a little bit of sea salt before they go in, make them extra delicious and addicting. If you have any trouble lifting these off the parchment paper, you can just put it in the freezer and then they'll pop right off after a couple minutes. So now for my favorite part, salt. So we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit on top of every little cracker, and then we're gonna pop them in the oven, 350 degrees for 14 to 17 minutes, rotating halfway through to make sure they're evenly cooked. Oh yeah, beautiful. Now once the edges are just starting to brown, that's how you know they're done. And scene. Just as deliciously addictive as the non-gluten-free version. You can take them to a party, or you can eat them all alone by yourself while crying in a corner like I'm gonna do. So follow my blog, you can get the full recipe there with all the step-by-step instructions. Follow my Instagram and Twitter for more pictures and quick how-to clips. And remember to like and subscribe and let me know what you want to see next time.